It is a reading and writing retreat, so I'm gonna continue reading. I'm trying not to feel guilty about it. What's good, everybody? As you can see, I am on another sabbatical, early a sabbatical. I would call it a writing retreat because I will be spending time away from home, prayerfully in peace and quiet, with no destructive and disrespectful neighbors to, disturb my peace. That's what I'm looking for. That's the phrase I'm looking for, disturb my peace. So I am on a, I guess we can call it a self-imposed writing retreat, reading retreat, peace retreat. Is something just to get away and find some peace, do what I need to do, get things done that I want to get done, for not only the channel but also for my own business purposes, I guess. I haven't mentioned it before, and I don't know if I'm going to keep this in the video, but I am in the process of writing my first novel. So I've been writing this novel for literal years. There are several reasons for that I don't really want to get into, but just know that 2025 I am going to be self-publishing my first romance novel. It is very close to being done. I am aiming for the end of the first quarter to have it published, or that's my ambitious thought, but we shall see. But yeah, so I am away from home at the top of, or I should say the end of the year, top of the year type of get my mind right and focus on my goals and get some things done. You guys will have to excuse my hair. Like, I literally just checked in and just finished cleaning, doing my own cleaning. I spray and I clean rooms when I go out of town or stay at hotels or whatever. I've experienced some pretty disgusting things in hotel rooms because people, the staff doesn't really clean well. But this particular one is very nice, very clean. I have zero complaints so far. So yeah, I'm excited to be here. I'm excited to get some work done. It is currently 2:41 on December 30th. I don't think I'm gonna do too much today work-wise. Today is kind of my check-in, get settled, and kind of unwind, relax, brainstorm kind of day, just to see where I want to go for the next few days, work-wise. I will be taking you guys along, kind of like a little vlog of my process a little bit. Not too much, nothing too heavy, just a little bit of something, just to give you guys some behind the scenes. I don't know what's going on with the TV over there. Just a little behind the scenes of me doing what I do. I'm feeling a little awkward because I've never done this before, so guys, hang in there with me. If you're watching this, thank you so much for even clicking on this video. But yeah, I am about to, what am I about to do? I don't even know what I'm about to do. I think I'm just going to, I'm in the process of reading my last book of the month, and I'm almost done, so I think that's what I'm gonna do. I'm not really hungry, so I don't think I'm gonna have lunch yet. It's way past lunchtime. Might skip lunch and just have dinner, I don't know. But I'm definitely gonna read. Like, reading is my fuel, and I'm excited to finish out for the year. And I have some stuff to post on Instagram I need to get to like now, so maybe I'll do that first. Yes, I'll do my Instagram posts first, and then I will get back to reading. Okay. And I'll see y'all later.
Happy New Year, reading family. I hope you all are having a great start to your year. Thank you so much for returning. And if you're new here, welcome to my little corner of the internet. I hope you'll stick around for a while. As you can see, this is my first vlog, so I hope it's to your liking. As always, I live for constructive feedback about what you guys might like, what you don't like, what you want to see, what you might not care to see. So don't hesitate to leave a comment below. Let me know what you think. Hit the like button if you're enjoying your time with me, and subscribe to the channel to stay up to date with all the happenings. Don't forget to check out the shorts here on YouTube, my shorts here on YouTube. You'll find what I read in December 2024. This video was so crazy long, I didn't think it made sense for me to try to tag that into this one, so I just decided to make it into a short so you guys can see the snippets of my reviews for each book and the character visuals that I came up with for each book. And don't forget to follow me on Instagram as well, because I most likely will be posting those kinds of things on there first. So follow me on Instagram to stay up to date with all of that. And if you like in-depth reviews of the different things, different stories that I read, you can also check out my website. Everything will be linked down below for your convenience. I think that's all. I'm going to stop rambling now and let you guys enjoy the vibes. Now, although I did not do an official what I read in December in this particular video, I do speak about two series that I ended up finishing in the last few days of the year, which is insane to me. I didn't think I would actually finish 4 books in, I think, 2 or 3 days? I managed to finish 4 books, 2 books in each series. I do talk about those 4 books somewhere here in this video. There are timestamps, so if you want to skip to me discussing the books, there are timestamps that you can check out and skip to that. But yes, so I do talk about what I read, just not the whole month. The last 4 books that I read this month are the ones that I discussed in this video.
Ooh, that bad boy is red. Y'all see that? I don't know if y'all can see that, but youch. That is very painful. To put a pimple patch on that bad boy. I'm assuming that's a pimple. I ain't never seen. Yeah, that's a pimple. I haven't had a pimple that red in my life. So, ooh, too much. Don't use it all. It's like gold. I'll get myself together so I can go to Barnes and Noble. I'm gonna stop over at Walmart too, but first stop, well, could be second stop. First stop, Barnes and Noble, then Walmart, I think. Still haven't decided which one I want to hit first. Oh, this feels weird. This feels weird. People talk to. Okay, heat's coming on if it's too loud. I'm so sorry. So, make sure it's all wet. Anyway, so I'm just getting myself together to go to Barnes and Noble. To go check out the romance section to see if any of my favorite people are there. I don't think, no, I haven't been to a Barnes and Noble in a very long time, but I think some of my favorite indie authors might be in stores. We'll see in my area if they have them there. That's my goal. And I'm going to look for a record player for my dad. Yeah, so yeah, I look real crazy right now. But I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. I don't really care too much about putting on makeup to go out shopping to a store. I don't really care about that. I will be covering up these edges though. But I will see you all.
Okay, so this little trip I took to Barnes and Noble didn't quite go as I had planned because there were so many people. I did not expect there to be so many people at Barnes and Noble this day. But there were so many people and I just did not feel comfortable filming with so many people around. And in general, I don't really like being in public places when there's a lot of people, so I was already uncomfortable. So I took a little bit of footage. Didn't really find what I was looking for anyway, so I pretty much got in and I didn't get in and get out because I did stop at the Starbucks in there and some nonsense was going on behind the counter, so I was there much longer than I intended to. But anyway, hopefully I'll be able to get back there sometime in the future and actually have a calm and peaceful experience. I don't know about that, but we shall see in the future. Okay, so I can't say that my writing process is the most efficient. I work out of Google Docs. I do have good notes that I keep my notes in. Obviously, Good Notes is where I keep all of my writing notes. So that's why I have my iPad set up next to my laptop. And I kind of reference that. I have all of my chapters outlined. So I reference that to try to keep myself on track. But, trying to keep everything together and keep my thoughts flowing is a bit of a challenge when I write. free-handed, I guess, or free-minded. I just kind of let it flow from my mind, even though I do have some structure for where I want the chapters to go. But it's getting the words down that's always sort of challenging for me. And I'm too easily distracted. You'll see me look up and down a lot because I have the TV on. For some reason, I feel like I can't concentrate without having some kind of noise on. So I do have the TV on in front of me. So strangely enough, the TV helps. Having the sound on helps. But yeah, this particular session, I think, didn't last as long as I wanted it to. It wasn't the day I had designated for it anyway, designated for writing anyway, but I did want to get some writing down this day, so I did. And I got, I think, maybe a couple of paragraphs done before I got up and started reading again. But I did get some words down, and that's what's important to me, is to get some words down and just keep working at it every single day to get some words down. They don't have to be thousands of words, just as long as I'm making progress and making it make sense. That's all I'm really looking for. behind because I'm supposed to be writing, but I'm very much caught up in this story I'm reading, which is part of the course for me. I'm always getting caught in really good stories. And who can complain about that? I don't want to complain about that, but I'm supposed to be writing my own story, and I can't help but get completely enthralled with this one. I'm currently reading Bittersweet by Joan Vassar, and it just got really, really, really interesting and good. Not that it hasn't been from the beginning, because it is. I just can't put it down. I can't put it down. I still have another day here, and I was supposed to start my writing tomorrow anyway, so I'm trying not to beat myself up too much about it. It is a reading and writing retreat, so I'm going to continue reading. I'm trying not to feel guilty about it. I'm just so in my feelings right now. I don't know why. Like, when I read certain stories that are kind of sort of out of my norm, I mean, obviously I'm deep in the romance genre, but there's so much, like, it's so multifaceted that, you know, you kind of encounter a lot of different, I guess, perspectives, a lot of different, I don't even know. Anyway, I'm rambling now, but I don't know. The last two books I read for 2024 were the Perfect Sister series and I guess you could call it the Sweet series. Let me see what it's called. Yeah. So I'm so sorry, my brain is like all over the place right now. The Perfect Sister 2-book series, book 1, and then book 2 is a continuation of all the happenings in book 1. The Perfect Sister series by, I still don't know if it's pronounced Desiree or Desire, but obviously I'll have it up on the screen so you can see what I'm talking about. I read that series and the Sweet series by Joan Vassar, which is a 2-book, I believe it's just 2 books. As far as I can tell right now, it's only 2 books. The first one is Sweet Honesty, and the second is Bittersweet. I had no plans of reading the second one right after reading the first one, because I just wanted to get a feel for what the first one was like. It was a different read for me because most, if not all of the books, romance books I read, there's a male and a female, a hero and a heroine. And Sweet Honesty was about 2 men in the 1950s, kind of trying to find themselves, trying to, well, not really. One of the men, he was pretty comfortable with his sexuality, and exploring that. However, he did feel a little uncomfortable with sharing that part of himself with his family, and his family was lovely. One of my favorite parts of the book was his relationship with his family. I'm speaking about Alexander, who is from and is living in Queens, New York in the 1950s. And he encounters Michael, who is from Georgia in the 1950s. If you know, you know what it was like for Black people in general in the South in the 1950s. So just imagine being gay, Black, and trying to live in the 1950s in the South. Yeah. So Michael ends up journeying to New York because he had planned on moving there with the man he was involved with when he was in Georgia. They were both planning to move to New York because they had less strict. Why am I saying strict like that? Less strict laws in the North for men who were caught being with other men. So when Michael moves up to New York by himself because the man he was with in the South decided he didn't want any of those type of problems, he was scared, I guess, of being found out. He ended up marrying a woman, and so Michael, heartbroken, moves himself to New York to try to, I guess, find a new life, feel like he could be more free to live as he chooses to live or chose to live. Of course, you still couldn't really be out in the open with it because it was still against the law at the time. So anyway, so eventually Michael meets Alexander and all things fall into place from there. But yeah, this was definitely a very different experience for me, reading a romance with a hero and a hero. It was actually kind of touching. I definitely teared up a few times. And like I said, I think the family part of it was one of my favorite parts, because Alexander's family they were so loving and so accepting of him and Michael when Michael came along. And then Michael's mother, who he left behind in Georgia, she was so sweet. They end up going back for her and bringing her back to New York with them, and she finds her own footing in the city. But I just had to come on and just talk about it because it was so different for me. And now I'm reading Bittersweet, which is another different type of relationship. So Bittersweet is about a polyamorous relationship between 3 individuals who were mentioned or are part of the first story. And I have not finished it. I am only, I'm only 29% into the book, so I still have a ways to go. But as of right now, where I am completely fascinated. I'm interested to see how these 3 are actually going to make this a polyamorous relationship and make it work. I, right now, can't see how it's going to happen, but authors have a way of walking you through it and getting you to that point where you're like, okay, I see. I can understand that. But yeah, I'm interested to see how this is going to play out. It's so emotional. Like, both stories are crazy emotional. I'm just really interested to see how these 3 are going to make this very complicated situation work and come out on the other side without too much damage. Because as it is now, there's a lot of damage, there's a lot of hurt, there's a lot of baggage. So, but I would definitely highly recommend anybody who's open to reading about different types of relationships, not just the conventional hero setup. I would highly recommend the Sweet series by Joan Vassar. It's definitely different, but definitely worth the read. Like I said, I'm not through Bittersweet yet, but I can already tell just from reading the first one that I'm going to continue to enjoy it, because as of right now, I am enjoying it. And yeah, I'm just interested to see how this one turns out as well. And I mentioned the other series that I finished before the end of the year, which was the Perfect Sister series. The Perfect Sister series.
That was a roller coaster. I can't even really call that a romance, and it's not listed as a romance on Amazon, but there are relationships that form in this series, but the focus is not heavily on the actual relationships in a romance sense. It's kind of a dystopian type of story where, wow, it's so, like, so much happens, and I've read both books already, so like I couldn't just stop at the first book because there's a cliffhanger. You want to know what happens to all of these people because there are so many different characters, and you get to hear and see different perspectives from different characters. So it's a series where you have to keep reading. Like, it's not something where you stop at the first book. Oh, I'll come back to it. No. You gotta read the first book and then read the second book. Prayers up that she actually comes out with a third one because there are so many things left unknown that I really want to know. I mean, I can let it go eventually if she doesn't decide to write any more books in that series. I will eventually let it go because I read too much to even like hold on to that type of thing. But as of right now, I am desperate for a third book or a spinoff or something to find out what happened to certain characters in that series. But anyway, this series is mainly about a community of women who, I'm so sorry, this heater is so loud and it's coming on right now. If you can hear it, I apologize. Wow, it got even louder. I'm pretty sure you can hear it. I'm so sorry. But anyway, sorry, I keep getting sidetracked. What was I talking about? Yes, it's about a community of women who, on the surface, wants the other women in the community that they bring in or birth, or the outside people outside of their community, and want them to believe that what they call the black woman or black women separatists is what the community is called. They're based in Georgia, right outside of Atlanta, this community, and they promote and uplift black women. Like, black women are it. Like, they created everything. They are everything. They're above everything and everyone, every other race. Like, they're the supreme beings. This is what the community believes, and this is what, you know, they give to the public. This is what they give to the women that are in this community. And it is such an, like, you know, stepping into it, you're like, okay, as a black woman, you want to root for these women who are uplifting other women, right? But like any other group of people who believe that they are supreme, they're above all, there is an issue with that type of thinking. There's a lot of political aspects of the story that get very sticky, very tricky in this community, because some believe it's a community and some believe it's a cult. It's giving very much cult, okay? And as badly as I wanted to be like, yes, black women, the nonsense that went on in that community, and that's putting it lightly, nonsense is putting it lightly, I was deeply disturbed. And that's just a testament to how good of a writer the author is. Because you got a black woman over here who wants to be like, yes. But I'm like, oh no, hun. Oh no. I could never be a part of that community. Scary.
Scary. Okay. But yeah, I can't even, like, there are so many characters, but the main characters, you can call them the main characters. The detective, and of course, I've forgotten everybody's name now because there are so many people. The detective, who was very, very much against this community because his mother abandoned him. There are no men in this community, by the way, if you didn't catch that. No men in this community. If anybody gives birth to a male in that community, they're gone. They don't keep them. And he is one that was given away after his mother gave birth to him. So all he knows is that his birth mother was a part of this community, gave birth to him, and he was given away to his grandmother, who was very abusive toward him and made him a very bitter man. Let me tell you, I did not like him through most of this book. Most of the characters were very unlikable in the beginning because everybody was very much set in their ways and did not want to hear other people's perspectives and did not want to understand other people's perspectives or what they had been through or were going through, or they couldn't bring themselves to fathom how these people came to be how they are. I don't know how to explain it in any better way. But yes, Detective Callan Jones was very much against the Black women separatists in their community. Anybody who came from that community, anybody who entered that community, he hated. He hated them. Or women in general in the beginning. Women in general he was not fond of. And he is the father of a little girl, which was very scary for me. I'm like, how could you hate Black women and you're raising this little Black girl all by yourself? But if you can understand a man who was abandoned by his mother, abused by his grandmother, and left behind by the mother of his child, I could understand him being bitter. Still didn't like him though. Still did not like him in the beginning. Took me a very long time to grow. I don't think he grew on me until the second book, to be honest. So there's that. And then the other main character was Pandora Harris, who had been born and raised in the Black separatist community. So she was very indoctrinated in their way of thinking. And so when one of her friends from the community goes missing, she takes it very personally. And because, they grew up together, they're best friends, they're all in this community, this sisterhood, like, that's my sister, I have to go find her, I have to go look for her. That was the agenda. Somehow she found her way outside of the community. They're not supposed to leave the community. They're led to believe that they're free to go, but in reality, they're not supposed to leave the community. So they sneak out into the real world, and boy, does madness ensue. The amount of craziness that goes on in this series, I can't even explain to you. It's something you have to experience for yourself, and I would definitely highly recommend that you do that. Once again, this is another book that requires an open mind. I'm a very open-minded reader to a certain extent, but I am pretty open-minded when it comes to reading. Like I said, this wasn't really a romance. The Perfect Sister series is not really a romance series. It's definitely more dystopian, maybe a little bit of mystery. Yes, mystery, thriller, and suspense in dystopian fiction is what it's listed under. The categories is listed under on Amazon. Highly recommended anyway. I don't mind reading I should say it's Black and African American mystery, thriller, and suspense fiction, if you want to get real technical. But I love reading books by any type of book by Black authors. I've read mysteries, I've read paranormal. I've read different things in the black space, and hardly ever disappointed, no matter what genre, subgenre, whatever it is. So yeah, that's all I wanted to pop in here and ramble about for a little bit. I didn't mean to talk this long about it, but I know I didn't get to lump them in with my end of year reading on Instagram, so I just wanted to come on here and talk about them, and give you guys a little bit of my thoughts. They're definitely very good series and would highly recommend them for you guys. Okay, I know this is my writing session, but I just wanted to mention that I did end up finishing Bittersweet very close to midnight, right before the new year. And it was just as good as I thought it was going to be. Definitely out of my reading comfort zone, given that it is about a polyamorous relationship and how complicated the situation already was from the beginning, from the first book. I was very skeptical going in, but like I said, when there are good writers, they make things work, and Joan Vassar made it work with Bittersweet, and I have to recommend it once again. The previous clip, I said I was only 20% in. At that point, I was already hooked. So finishing the book off, I can tell you now, for sure that I highly recommend that you read that series. Keep an open mind, and definitely give it a try. That's all I can say. I was very, very tempted to keep the audio in for these clips of me attempting to knit for the first time. However, I was moving so slowly that this video would probably be 2 hours long if I had kept it at the accurate pace that I was moving at. So I sped up the clip and took out the audio because, yeah, this video would have been ridiculously long if I had left it in. So I'll just say that knitting is let's say 90% harder than I thought it would be. But I am enjoying learning the process. I just have to get my hand-eye coordination to work out, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah. You can watch me, attempt to do or to do what I'm doing, I guess. Casting on, and I made one row of stitching, but after that it all kind of fell apart, so I ended the video after that. But I will be, continuing to document my journey and learning how to knit in the future, because I think it is important to continue to learn new skills, keep your brain sharp, keep your dexterity on point. But yeah, I'm going to let you guys watch me attempt to knit for the first time. And I also want to thank you all once again for stopping by and sticking with me. If you stuck with me this far, I appreciate you. What else? This year coming up, I have some ideas. I haven't solidified 100% yet, but I'm trying to commit to doing a few different things with the channel this year that I haven't done in the previous year. So stay tuned for what I have coming up next. If you haven't checked out my last video, it was obviously what I read in November, I believe. But I'll have previous video playlists at the end of this one, so make sure you stick around to the end to see what I have coming up or what I had previously. Anyway, I'm gonna stop rambling and let you guys finish watching the video, and I will see you all next time. Peace.